What's up everybody, my name is Richie. I'm a V2 climber looking to get up to the V7 level. This week was a little tough because I hurt my leg last week, as you can see from this clip here, but I still gave it my best. I tried a few climbs and I climbed a few times this week. I did also have a charity hockey game to do though, so I tried my best not to re-injure myself or make any injuries I had worse. That's why this video is a little bit shorter than it usually is, but we still have some good climbs, so let's get into it. I'm super excited to finally get this blue V6, so I give it another try here, but as soon as I load my leg into this low squat position, I feel the pain that I created last week. So I go easy and I don't attempt it again after this try. This next climb is a green overhang, which looks like it's a lot of fun, but my leg's still bugging me, and after I realize I can't do this climb either, I call it a day. Calling it this early in the day was definitely a little bit frustrating, but I did do the mobility class because it was Tuesday, which helped get the blood flowing to my leg, and I think that helped with the recovery process. It's not all bad news though, because we go back upstairs with Anmal and he finally sends us V4 that we've been projecting for the last few weeks. Next week is the last week that it's going to be up on the wall, so stay tuned next week to find out if I get it too. While we watch Anmal hit this super technical and very crimpy climb, I want to talk about the future of this channel. I started this channel because I have a ton of hobbies and a ton of goals within each hobby. I think documenting my journey in each hobby will help keep me accountable and also be a fun way to look back at the progress I've made throughout the years. Most of the hobbies that I have planned at this point are athletic hobbies that will help me stay in shape. My next one's going to be a triathlon, so stay tuned for that video. I'm super excited about it. I actually just started my training this week. But anyways, back to the video. As we can see, Anmal gets past this point that we kept getting stuck on. He makes a little leap and goes straight for the top. Super excited for him, and hopefully I'll be able to do the same next week. Day 2 was a little spur of the moment. I wasn't even sure I was going to do it, so I'm barely even in gym clothes, and I guess I already spoiled that I'm not going to get this climb, but I still made a lot of progress on it, so let's take a look. The key with this climb is definitely going to be foot placement. My right foot keeps slipping off the volume, my left foot keeps falling off of the little foothold. The thing is, the handholds are so crimpy and so small that I can only try it a few times before they're so weak that I can't really get any meaningful practice in. Hesitation is another thing I struggle with, not just on this climb but on climbs in general, because I'm not sure if I can reach the next hold, so I stop and stare at it, and while I'm staring at it my hands are getting weaker and more worn down, and if I just went for it I would know, but instead I stay on the wall, get tired, and I think I can do it but I'm too tired to try, and this repeats itself and I don't really make any progress, so this is something that I definitely have to work on. On that last attempt I make a lot of progress. I get my hand right over the next hold but I can't quite grab onto it, but the progress I've made is so promising that I decided to do this climb from the beginning. This climb isn't too bad at the beginning, but it is pretty time consuming, so I usually just jump into the part that I have trouble with, but here you can see me go through the whole thing going around the volumes, which again doesn't really tax the forearms or the fingers like the middle part does, but it's very time consuming. After I get past the volume, it's business as usual, back to the middle part that I have been struggling with, but I'm so confident this time. I made so much progress on the last attempt that I know I'm going to get it or at least make some progress. I do everything I usually do, put my hands where I usually put them, get my left foot over to the volume, push my right foot up the volume, put my left foot back on the foothold, but then as I'm going to reach for the next hold, my foot slips. This is so frustrating because I feel like I'm so close and my fingers are getting more and more tired as the day goes on, which is the most annoying part because it's not even like I can keep going one attempt after another after another. I have to give myself a large amount of break between each attempt so that my fingers have time to recover and I can give it my best for the next one. For this day, I've been giving myself like 10-15 minute breaks between each climb. My fingers are really that dead and I don't want to risk injuring myself again. I'm definitely a little awkward at the beginning, which I felt when I was doing the whole thing on the last attempt, so I try it again from the beginning, and this way if I get the climb, if I get the crux move, then I can do the whole climb without having to do it again and repeat the crux move. Unfortunately, this attempt meets the exact same fate as the last attempt and I fall in the exact same spot, but that's okay, we're going to keep practicing. Unfortunately, my fingers are just getting so tired and it really limits the amount of practice I can get on this one move where I need to figure out where to place my feet so they don't fall off the volume. At this point, my hands are just exhausted, and you guys are probably exhausted from hearing me talk about how exhausted my fingers are, so I'm going to give it a couple more attempts starting from the middle again and see if I can make any progress, but it doesn't seem likely for today, so I'm going to pack it up and come back next week. If you made it this far into the video and you're enjoying the content, subscribing would mean a lot to me and it would help you stay up to date with all my fitness journeys. If you have any suggestions for my rock climbing technique, they'd be greatly appreciated if you commented them down below. But with that, this pretty much wraps up this video, so I'll see you guys next week.